So, a big part of our life, managing the resource of money to create a lifestyle, to go after our dreams, our goals, how we want to live during our 80 years on this earth. The average human lifespan is 80 years. And what we have to figure out is how can we take care of our responsibilities and how can we enjoy the things we want? Because in life, you have needs and you have wants. And so tonight, I want to talk about if you made the average salary in America, which is right around $65,000 a year. And depending on what website you look at, the average or the medium salary kind of differ. But in general speaking terms for tonight, let's say you made the average salary in America, $65,000 a year, after taxes, after deducting for health care and other paycheck deductibles, you would probably take home around $3,000 or $3,500 a month. It's about $33 an hour if you worked a 40-hour week. That gives you some information. On the members only chat, what's going on, everyone? Andre, good to see you. Infinity, great to see you. ESP Alaska, good to see you. Twisto, what's up, man? And Adam, great to see you. So, drive safe, Twister. And Adam, don't worry if you don't make 65K. Because, one is sometimes we do things in life below average. Sometimes we do things above. Sometimes we're at the average. And sometimes we're in a process. But what I want to talk about tonight, is that enough money? Well, it's going to vary, right? Because if you made $65,000 a year and you had 3 kids, you're pretty much broke. You're almost in poverty. But if you're Adam, if you're living in Michigan, you have no kids, and yes, you're staying by your parents in order to look after them in their elderly years, you're living like a king. Because even if you take home half of that, well, I would say there's no excuse for someone who doesn't have any disabilities to not take home $2,000 a month. That's pretty much $15 an hour. If you're above the age of 25 and if you don't have disabilities, I respect that those who do, they may not be able to do this. But if you don't have any disabilities and you're not able to make at least $2,000 a month, that's about $15 an hour. With a main job and a side job, the gig economy, cleaning houses, construction, whatever, caretaking, then you're not putting any effort into your life. If you don't put any effort into your life, there's nothing that's enough, and someone else will have to take care of you, whether your parents or whether the government. And again, if you have a disability, that's fine, but if you don't, that's your life that you're creating. And look, there's 2 aspects of understanding and creating a life that is enough. Number 1 is the energy output. You put out energy, you sacrifice some of your being to obtain money because it's a resource in order for you to do things on your personal time that you want. And over time, through doing that, you get more of the resource of money, you build up more of your career credentials, and you can then create more personal time and less work time. If, again, you don't fall into many traps. See, beyond children, if you really destroy your life financially in your 20s and 30s and you're playing catch up in your 40s, 50s, then you're kind of going to get caught in an algorithm of always being behind. Like I say, that in life, you got 2 options. Either you're going to just get by or you're going to try to get ahead. If you wait too long, the race is too over. For most people, you're never going to get ahead. If you wait till your 40s or 50s to try to really get focused, you're probably never going to get ahead. Now, there's exceptions. I heard someone say the other day that Colonel Sanders, who invented KFC, he didn't do it till he was 64. There's exceptions. Michael Jordan got cut from his basketball high school team. He was the greatest player ever. There's exceptions. But if you don't put effort into your life, there's no exceptions. You're not going to do it. Fred says $15 an hour should be minimum. Well, right now, DoorDash, it's minimum. At Target, it's minimum. If you don't have a disability and you're not working, it should be minimum that, there's some type of repercussion. Because if we're going to really make a push, for the 15 minimum, which it's already out there in Target, in Amazon, in DoorDash, in Uber, you could pretty much, these are all basic numbers. We're not going to get ahead. That's where I disagree with I'm not against 15 minimum, but it's already out there for anyone who puts a basic effort into their life. The problem is that's the wrong debate, because I love you, Fred, you're never going to get ahead making $15 an hour. $15 an hour is to get started. Okay. And if you're younger or if you got laid off, then I go right to the $15. But if you're waiting for minimum wage to become $30 an hour before you start, it's never going to be enough, because you're waiting for someone to lap you to start. So whether minimum wage is $5, $10, $15 an hour, I'm all for progressive movement, but start now, because there's many places it is. And like I said, guys, I come from a working background. My grandfather was a janitor, came here from Italy. My father was an electrician. My mother was a stay-at-home mother for half her life. The other half of her life, she worked at supermarkets, she worked as substitute teaching, and she worked as a secretary. So I can tell you from a working class family that the biggest thing that almost put us into poverty, but we weren't, we were middle class, was the fact that my parents had 3 kids. Now, if both of my parents weren't putting an effort into it, and if they didn't have support from their parents, that would be very hard to overcome. So I go back to, is $65,000 enough? Well, if both parents aren't putting effort into it, if you have kids, then maybe not. If you're single, $65,000 should be enough to do pretty much whatever you want to do without luxury. If you wanted luxury, it may not be enough, even if you're single with no kids. And if you have an addiction, it may not be enough. If you're addicted to gambling, stocks, whatever, there's nothing wrong with wanting some fun and some risk. Starting a business, stocks, gambling, look, those are personal things, but mitigate your risk, or else you're going to make money to throw money away. You have to manage your risk. I love you, Fred. You know that. I appreciate you. And what I want to remind you is, if you start now, you'll be better off later. If you don't start now, you're never going to have enough, because the race is never won by those who don't start. And I have seen time after time seniors who become very vulnerable because a variety of reasons, but a lot of time is, their whole life they were playing catch up. It all starts in your 20s. You choose to have kids, but you could still get ahead. Then in your 30s, it's even if you had kids, it's, are you paying attention to your finances? Then in your 40s, have you grown your career? Have you at least been working in your 20s and 30s? See, if you get to your 40s and you haven't really started a career, by the time you get to your 50s and 60s, even if you get to the average salary, it's going to be tough. However, the hope is that you can simplify your life, restart your life, to just start building a better life, to enjoy your life. You don't have to move to another country where there's a greater exchange rate, unless maybe you're 75. Now, if you're 75 and you're living on Social Security, the average Social Security $1,500 a month, maybe you say, I want to move to Thailand because the currency exchange is 3 times. Meaning that if you live in Thailand, your $1,500 is worth, $5,500, and you can live like a king. Many people do that. However, again, you're in a different country, different culture, and you're the mark, you're the out-of-towner, you're the foreigner, you're the big money person that everyone's gonna, look to. So I want to go to all live comments, but I always want to have you focus on the data, okay? Because the debate is in a country right now where rent's $1,200 a month on average. You can get it lower than that. That's, for the average apartment. A mortgage is $1,700. The average take home after all deductions is about $3,500. So about half of people's cost, or a little bit less, goes to housing. The average car payment's around almost $600, $565. Then you got insurances. Then you got food. Then you got no life. Then you are in the rat race. So how do you get ahead? Well, cut down to your minimums. Now, if you have kids, spoil your kids. If you have kids or a pet, for me, in my opinion, you should spoil them, as long as they're not like entitled assholes. Why? Because I don't think if you're having children or pets, you're saying that you're able to take care of them and give them a good life. And if you're not, you shouldn't be having them. So, to me, you don't have kids and say, all right, now we're going to live in poverty, and you can't have anything. Well, then why'd you have your kids? That's not right. So again, to me, it's like you put effort into life, you get something out. And it's not all about money. It's about your health. It's about well-being. But don't tell me you want a better society and you're not working towards it. You don't tell me corporations are evil, but you don't want to work for a corporation to make it better. Okay? Don't tell me anything is bad if you're not doing good in it. Okay? And don't say that something's not enough if you're not putting enough effort into your life. And beyond making the money, you have to learn to manage it. You have to learn to mitigate your addictions or your risk, because that's where you're going to lose a lot of it. And you have to learn to try to keep it simple, maybe not as simple as me, I admit that. And then you have to learn to focus on enjoying your life, okay? Living where you want, doing what you want, and over time, managing your time so that each day is the best you can do for that day. And you're going to have your good days and your bad days. And sometimes 65 grand will be enough, sometimes it won't. But you're aware and you're okay. And that directed energy will be better than undirected energy. That information will be better than uneducated or no information. The time management will be better than naps, laziness, video games. I had a guy today. He commented on my channel. He basically said, I know you're not stupid, but this is stupid. I looked on his channel. He had one video of a minute of him playing a video game doing nothing. Okay. And I said to myself, this is what you're dealing with. Baby boys. Okay. Like Tyrese had that movie, Baby Boy, where he was a grown man playing video games in his mom's house. His mom kicked him out. So you got to be a man. And so look, guys, I like video games. Okay. And if you're in an emergency, live with your mom. But you also have to go forward, get out of emergency mode. And so tonight's message, now we're going to go to all live comments, is that of looking at a time in history where the average salary is $65,000 a year. Thank God we don't live in 1921, where poverty rates were higher, opportunity was less. Thank God we don't live in 1821, where it was basically America was a third world country. Thank God we don't live in BC 21, okay, where guys, pretty much brute force wins everything. Women have children, as many as the men want, okay, and it's an archaic time. And I don't think we want that. What do we want? Well, if that's an individual question in a free country. You have to decide what you want. No one else can decide what you want. The government is there to provide basic order, ensure basic freedoms, and ensure a level of equal opportunity. But it is the pursuit of happiness, not the guarantee of happiness. And so what you have to do in life is go after what you want, whatever it is. If you don't go after what you want, nothing's enough. And I'll be honest with you, I share the honest videos. If you don't, even when you go after what you want, it's still going to be a struggle. Okay, you're still not always going to be happy. You're still going to fight, but It's like you got two options in life. You totally give up. I did a live feed last night about a famous YouTube nomad. She was beautiful. She had some money. She was famous. She had the looks. She still committed suicide. So you can't just say that that's it. And there's no exact science to life, including happiness, including contentment. However, there's doers and there's don't do shitters. There's people who put effort into their life and there's people that don't. But what I can tell you is this, is if you're living with someone addicted to drugs, if you're not working, you're never going to have enough. Because your algorithm is not that of success or pushing forward. It's that of destruction. It's that of a toxic environment. If you're disabled, if you're a senior, there's exceptions, okay? But for the average person, they're not a senior, they're not disabled. And do what you can with what you have and make the most of it and live each day the best you can. All right, we're going to go live comments. I appreciate your patience. Shout out to everyone out there. Andre, love to you again, man. Shout out to Jersey Infinity. You know what it is. Got the vasectomy. That guy's rich. ESP, live in Alaska, making at least probably the average salary, if not above. Shout out to ESP. Twister, what's up, man? What's up, Sam? I'm driving, but you're worth it. Well, I appreciate that. Don't take it for granted. And you're worth it too, brother. I appreciate all your comments last night. We're reflecting on some of them today. And what I want to tell you is this, brother. Keep going after your best life. Why? Now, Twister is working in Dunkin' Donuts. Okay. And like I told him last night, that's good. But it's going to be very hard to make that a career because it's not a career. Thanfo, $2 super chat. What about 1 million with 2 kids? Well, 1 million with 2 kids, it depends on your age and if you stopped working. If you have $1 million with 2 kids and you're 30 years old, that is not enough if you stop working. But if you're age 60 with 2 kids and you got $1 million in the bank and you're about to retire and get top Social Security because you've worked your whole life, that's enough. So you've left out some other important metrics. How old is the person? The average life expectancy is 80. You have to consider that. How old is the person, and are they still working, or is the $1 million just in savings? You want to keep income coming in until you can't. Because once you get out of the workforce or once you retire, you're pretty much saying that income is stopping now, and I'm going to live off savings and off investments of the money I've saved. And that's a very final decision. Now, look, you can get back in the workforce, but it's not easy, especially as you get older. And then it gets harder to get a job because people look at your resume and say, what have you been doing for the past couple of years? And you're going to go, well, I've been living off my savings. And they're going to go, okay, we'll call you back. And so you got to be careful. Back live comments. Good question. Thank you for the super chat. Adam. Good evening, Sam. Yep. He goes, wish I was making 65K. Laughing. I got to get working harder. Well, yeah, like I said, you're single, so you could probably have enough on less than that, and you're living, I believe, at home with your parents. So, if you were living on your own and you were single, I think you want at least 40,000. Okay, that's probably a take home of around, your tax bracket would go down a little bit. I don't know, maybe just over 2,500. You probably take home around 3,500 or so if you made the average salary 65, 40, probably around 2,500 take home. So, you'd be scraping by if you got a cheap studio apartment or shared room. But what I can tell you, as someone who has lived out of his car for 4 years, it can be done. But it's not easy. And, it takes some effort. Good job. ESP. Speaking of salary, my paycheck wasn't direct deposit. Interesting. Do you get paid today, ESP? It's it's the end of the month as I make this, but it's a Wednesday. I get paid every 2 weeks on a Friday. So I guess every job is a little bit different. Pluto, what's up, brother? Much love to you. Great to see you, Pluto. Adam, but I do make over 2,000. Okay, if you make over 2,000, that's good. And then just, like I said, that's one hustle. You can have another hustle, make $1,000 a month, and you're right around regular. Like I said, you got a main job, you do DoorDash on the side. You got a main job, you clean houses on the side. You got a main job, you hang ceiling fans on the side. You can easily get to 3,000 with a little effort. You work the night shift as a security officer, and then you work the day shift. You do DoorDash, you clean houses, you do construction, whatever. You have a couple hustles, especially when you're young. In your 20s and 30s, you hustle. And, then as early as you can, you unwind a little bit. Good job, Fred. What's up, everyone? Great to see you. Yeah, he goes, the 15 minimum. Well, yeah, like I said, we already got the 15 minimum at Target. So if someone applies to Target or Amazon and they don't get hired, then they can say, all right, yeah, we need 15 minimum. But if they get hired and they don't want to take the job, then I say, that's not the problem. So most places are paying close to 15 minimum. So I have yet to meet someone. Well, my mom 2 years ago was still in the workforce. She worked at a supermarket in New Jersey. She was getting $12 an hour. Okay. So was that enough? No, I think she should have got 15, but she was still working it. So you do what you got to do. And like I say, you got to do what you can do. And then you progressively, move the table forward. Good job, Adam. I have two boys, Sam. 19 and 16. Oh, you dead broke then, man. I'm not gonna lie about that. Yeah, if you have two boys, you're in poverty. I hate to tell you that. Yeah, you're in poverty, man. If you have two kids and you're making just over $2,000 a month, $1,000 a month as a single person is poverty. $2,000 a month with three kids, with two kids, three people in the house, that's poverty. So how do you get out of that situation? Well, I don't know if you have a spouse or a girlfriend, the mother of the children. Does she work? Because that's what usually people do, right? You have two incomes. So if she made $2,000 a month and you made $2,000 a month, then, you guys would be okay. But daycare is a big issue, right? So, but if you live with your parents, maybe they watch the kids. I don't know. Your parents got their own problems. There's a lot of variables. Okay. But like I say, guys, having kids is the biggest expense ever. So you say, well, I can't do anything about it now because they're born. I agree. But what you can do now is get a vasectomy. Like if you don't get a vasectomy now and then you have another kid, you're never gonna have enough. So it's like I never say, once the babies are here, you make the most of it. But don't get more babies, don't have more pets until you can fully support the ones you have in your house. That's my opinion. Good job. Sorry, Pluto and Fred. Hopefully I didn't miss anything too good. Death 3 Nublia. Yo, people, Death 3 Nublia. What's up, man? Shout out to UK. Fred. Oprah became a millionaire at 49. It's all love, brother. We can agree to disagree. I love you too, man. Yeah, look, Oprah's the exception, just like Michael Jordan, right? Most people are never going to become a millionaire. Okay, so Jay-Z became a millionaire in his 20s. Nas said he was rich longer than he was poor. So it's like, at some point, it's like we can look at all the exceptions. But the reality is, if someone wants to start working now and picked up a side hustle, they can get to $3,000 a month. Okay, even if it wasn't one job, that's true. Now, again, if you don't have a disability and you can't make $3,000 a month, and you're not putting any effort into your life, because you can work at Walmart and bare minimum get $10 an hour, then you can do DoorDash on the side. Now, if you don't want to do that, then guys, nothing's enough. Because again, if you can't do it, then you have to get a disability and that's your life. I don't know what else to say. So, but I have a problem with anyone who's not doing and wants more. Because if you're not already doing, how can you get more? And if you don't have a track record of doing decent job, then it's like, it's not that something's not enough. It's that you're not doing enough. You're not putting enough consistent effort. Now, if you have a mental problem, if you have a physical disability, then go apply for the disability. I can't help that. I'm not God. I didn't create people. I certainly didn't make people have unprotected sex. I certainly, whatever. I've hired people. I paid them minimum $25 an hour when I had a contract in business. And what I can tell you is even with them at times, sometimes people didn't want to put effort. I got people a job starting at $30 an hour. You know what they did? They didn't show up. So, when is that enough? When do you say, well, you had a great career, you didn't show up? So, what I can tell you, you got to go after what you want in life. And then that's only one part of the equation, because what I made the mistake is I wasn't managing what I had right. Okay. And at 40, I'm finally out of debt and I'm finally getting ahead. I have to mitigate my risk with investments, because you can lose everything you work for if you take too much risk. And I can be more free and creative now. Still have to work because I can't live off savings. I can't live off investments. I'd be broke by the time I'm 60, and then I'd be destitute my whole senior citizen life. You have to keep the income coming in. You have to keep the effort going out. When you put effort out, income comes in. When you put effort out, income comes in. When you don't put any effort out, no income. That's the equation. That's the algorithm. And so I want everyone to live as best they can in this world that sometimes can be cruel. However, I also want to say this world sometimes can be very easy in 2021 in a first world country. It's both at times. So all you can control is one day at a time and the effort you put out. And you have to fight through your bad days to get through another day. But I'll tell you right now, we'll go back to live comments. If you just sit out and you're going to see what happens in life, you're going to have more bad days than good days. So I hate bad days, guys. I hate bad parts of life. And so for me, the sales pitch to go after your best life is less suffering. And that means a little effort. You know, look, why did I go to the gym? Why am I a little health conscious? I don't want to suffer. I'm not super in shape anymore as far as like how I used to be when I was very disciplined. But I maintain health. So I don't want to do a lot of things I have to do for that, but I do it. And, that's how life goes. I love you, Fred. Death Nublia. I don't really care much about money, but I do want to make money. I feel like what I can do with money is limited in my head. Yeah, well, then you have enough money. You have enough to support your needs and whatever you want to do. So that's great. You have enough. Everyone is different. Like I said, guys, not everyone wants to be a millionaire. Some people just want to pay their bills and have some money left over. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with any amount of money as long as it's enough for your needs and whatever you want to do. If it's not enough for your needs and what you want to do, then you have to look at both your needs and what you want to do. And that's kind of how you figure out part of your life. Part of your life is money. Part of your life is health. Part of your life is relationships. Now, sometimes they're all intertwined. Sometimes they're all intertwined. So, we can only take it one section of life at a time. I talk on this channel sometimes just about health, physical, mental, spiritual. Sometimes we talk just about relationships. Sometimes we talk about money. Sometimes we talk about housing. Sometimes we talk about depression. Sometimes we talk about inspiration. We talk about it all. And through talking about it, there's a focus. But, I go live every night for about an hour or so. 23 hours is doing. A certain amount of time for sleep, a certain amount of time for activity, a certain amount of time for productivity, a certain amount of time for creativity, management of time. And let's continue. Twister. I'm super grateful for my donut bakery job. Well, I love that you're thankful for your job, and I love that you're doing something today, because I just went to 4 huge engineering firms here in LA, and they told me to hit the road and apply online. Yeah, guys, if you show up to someone's door with a paper resume, one is you're probably not going to get in the door, because every secured building, especially technology buildings, they have card access or biometric access. You're not going to just walk up and say, oh, here's my resume, hiring manager. Even like when you go to like Walmart or Target, you have to apply online. So, or they have a computer in their store where you can apply. So, but a lot of people play video games all day, and they didn't play the video game of life, and so they're building up their Minecraft empire, but they're destroying their life empire. And you got to be very careful. Adam. Yeah, Twister, you pretty much have to apply online now for a job. Guys, your smartphone is your greatest resource. If you don't know how to apply for a job on your smartphone, if you don't know how to DoorDash on your smartphone, then you should look at being a car mechanic. But even car mechanics use diagnostics. But if you cannot do computers, then there's plenty of manual labor. I've done both. I've done manual labor with my hands, and I've done computer work. And what I can tell you is, get in where you fit in. And there's times you're going to have to do things you don't want to do. I hated working with my hands as far as manual labor, but do what I need to do to get where I want to get. Twister. Also, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your advice yesterday. Thank you for sharing your life. I knew that stuff already. I know you do, smart guy. All you guys know. All you guys and girls. You guys are smart people. I don't talk to you guys like babies, okay? I don't do free giveaways. I don't do meetups. I don't do duck, duck, goose. Why? Guys, what do you want? Is that what you want? Okay. So, or do you want to get information, a spark, motivation, so that not you can be my follower for the rest of your life, but so you can get what you need to get and go build your life. And if we're still cool, that's awesome to me. But if we're not, I understand. I want guys and girls. I don't tell you guys, look, come, buy into my life and not into yours. I don't tell you guys that. So, as painful as it is for me to lose people online, because those are where I have a lot of relationships, and I enjoy most of the people that I communicate with online. I enjoy. There's some that are always going to be negative, just what it is. I understand it. But I don't enjoy it at the sake of phoniness, where I'm leading you astray and we're just having this fake facade relationship for the sake of emotional high. Like I say, it's very emotionally unhealthy to have fake friendships, where I pander for you just for your money, and, you look up to me but not to yourself. That's not good. Look, I'm putting in the work. I'm charging a fee, but I am telling you things that I believe, will help you. And whether you watch for free or whether you don't, or whether you like it or whether you don't, I think the general message and the general video content is based on self-help, is based on a best life, not a perfect life. Okay, because some of the videos are just about getting through a bad day. Okay, and I practice what I preach. Overall, so that's the best I could do. I can't save the world. Love to you, man. He goes, I kind of knew, but your advice hit me hard yesterday. Then a freight train laughing. I love you. Much love, brother. Well, I appreciate you guys too. Look, you guys and girls, you've been good to me too. So I don't want to act like you guys haven't done things for me. A lot of you have stuck around when you didn't have to. A lot of you have supported me when you didn't have to. So, it's a two-way streak. Look, you guys have helped me too. So I'm grateful for that. And I try to show respect to that by being sincere with you, being consistent with you, giving you an hour every day, giving you entertainment consistently, and taking time with it. Not just rushing it through, not just flipping a hamburger, say, here, go eat it. So, it's what I could do. Everyone does what they can do. Death 3 Nublia. I want to have room to grow my health, like my health and my mind. Money come after that. Yeah, definitely, no doubt about it. Your health is your number one. Like I said, we break life down into sections on this channel. Sometimes we talk about last night, pretty much talked about mental health. Okay, we talked about a girl who had money, but she had mental problems, and she was getting help, but she still committed suicide. So, again, it's like, this is just one part of life, money. But I can tell you this, I've seen people spiral out of control with addictions, with a lot of things, when they don't do something. Regardless of money, like I say, how do you get money? Well, if you're the average person, there's some exceptions, but the average person, the way you get money is you put effort into something, and in return, you get that money back. Whether it's making a delivery, whether it's showing up at a job, whether it's swinging a hammer or stroking keys, whether it's entering medical billing, or whether it's giving an injection as a nurse, whether it's cleaning a floor as a janitor, whether it's, racking a server in a cabinet. There's something you're doing that's creating an income. Your income is a resource to create a life you want. But you're in charge of that. If, again, you don't have a disability. If you have a disability, again, there's a whole nother conversation for that. And the conversation is mainly is you're on disability, and then you need to go to the resources in a modern society where they have programs for people with disabilities. I got some in my family. So it's, those are the options of life. Nublia, for me, I love you. Fred, I was sorry to hear about that young woman's suicide from your video last night. Thank you. Did you know her personally? No, I didn't. Again, I just heard about it. Her name was Max McCullen, I believe. She had a YouTube channel with her boyfriend, Max and Lee. And then I think they broke up. And then she had a channel called Life with Lee. And it was documented in her videos. She's been struggling with depression for years. She was getting the help, but she still, I guess, had a bad day. Whatever. Obviously, she had bad problems, and then one bad day leads to, an explosion. But it's an accumulative fact, So, just like that guy, right, who shot up the Asian massage parlors in Atlanta. That comes to mind because that guy had mental problems. He was addicted to sex, and he went and he shot up people in these massage parlors because he was trying, what I heard, he was trying to get rid of his temptation. It's mentally disturbed. However, the difference between him and this girl, the girl took out herself, which is tragic. I don't wish it on anyone. But the other guy took out other people for himself, which is a disgrace. Okay, no excuse. I don't care even if you got mental problems. Can't be in society. Okay. Now, to me, you lock that guy up, throw away the key. That's it. So, because I don't think you can rehabilitate that. I mean, sure, you could do some great things, but to me, I think there's certain people that have, again, we're talking about the 1 to 3% of society. 1 to 3% of society are going to do something very extreme. The vast majority are going to make $65,000 a year. You say, hold on. I'm the mentally insane person. Well, guys, I am not a therapist, a doctor. I'm an average guy. I understand the pain of life. I go through ups and downs. Okay. And don't put your bullshit on me. Don't guilt trip me. Don't play psychological games with me. Don't play fairy tale land with me. Because I had some mentally disturbed women and men to troll and bully me. And I'll tell you right now, if I or someone committed suicide because those mentally ill people trolled me, I should sue them and everyone that knows them. Because I had a woman that I never said anything bad to, okay? She went slandering me on other channels and caused me all types of problems, and she had mental problems. She bullied me, okay? I should sue her, okay? But I'm not. Why? Because I don't give a fuck, okay? It's part of the game. I understand the game, okay? But what I'm trying to say, if we're calling out bullies, okay, some of the biggest bullies in life are the mentally ill. Have you ever seen how a mentally ill person talks to another one? You don't know life then, okay? So, that's his life. Doran, $2 super chat, cool. Well, Doran, I appreciate you, appreciating my effort, because I'm sweating my ass off and giving you my soul and my thoughts and my life, and I thank you with gratitude in my heart. Love to you, Doran. Keep pushing forward in your life 2.0 style, okay? You're rebuilding your life. You got the money. Now you take care of your health. You manage it, and you go out there. You figure out where you want to live. You manage your time, and you remember the average life expectancy is 80. Don't feel guilty. Don't feel guilty. You can't go in the past. We're going forward. And if someone don't want to go forward, sorry, but they can't be part of your life. That's the way it goes tonight. Good job. Thank you, Doran. Back to live comments. Forgive me for being late. Man, I am backed up on these comments. Fred, I read that. Twister, I read that about the applying. Adam said you got to apply online. I read this true. Death Nublia. Yeah, I want to have that. I read that for me. Fred. Oh, yeah, that's the last one I read. Fred, love to you. Pluto, I make just about that, Sammy. Good job. And I can tell you it's not enough, laughing. It's a good start, though, for a single person. Well, Pluto, why, if you want to expand on that, why isn't it enough? From what I understand, you're a single person with no kids. You're living in your car. How much are you spending per day in food? I've shared I spend $50 a day. That's $1,500 a month. And then with everything else, I spend just over... How much that guy spent on that motorcycle? That's all I want to know. So, I spend just over $2,000 a month. Okay. So, you spend, I believe, $1,600 a month just renting a car. Like I say, you shouldn't be renting a car that expensive for that long a period. You should be buying a car. So one of your budget problems is not your income, it's your expenses. You know, it's like, again, you can make money, but I was in that algorithm, but if you're not managing your expenses, you're shooting yourself in your foot like Plexico Burst. So basically, you're a MVP of Super Bowl. So what do? Well, you get a gun, you put it in your hip, and you go to a club. Okay, and then what do you do? So what I want to tell you tonight, Pluto, is you're shooting yourself in your foot with this car rental. You got to get rid of that shit. You're working too hard, sacrificing too much. Make that money work for you, even if it's in a savings account. I'd rather you worry about inflation than paying a car rental that much. Dan Diamond, $2.99 super chat. Shout out to the Palm Coast of Florida. Dan Diamond, what I want to tell you tonight, you're reinventing your life, recovering from a breakup, reinventing your career. Dan, you're more than the song that you had that was a big shot. You're more than a DJ. Who are you? You're Dan. You don't even have to be Dan Diamond. You don't have to be Dan. You are more than your artistic output. You're more than your money output. But all these things are just part of life, and you have to reinvent yourself. Okay? And what I want to tell you is, don't give your money to a stripper. However, it's not lost money if you give it to a stripper. I've been to strip clubs. I spent money. It's part of life experience. But like I say, guys, there's a time to be in a strip club and there's a time to move on. There's a time to reflect and then there's a time to forget. Time to go forward. Good job. Thafo, $5 super chat. The guy who shot the Asa massage parlor mental health was like, yeah, -5. You're watching. He was still lingering around. Thafo, you're watching. You're paying attention. You totally get it. Look, guys, it's like many of these school shooters and everything else. They're getting the help, or the help is available, just like the girl who committed suicide the other day. But there's some people you can't reach. Like I say, there's only so much you can do, But like I say, you can't get lost in the 1% of society that do extreme things. You have to remember 99% of society, just like 99.5% of society that survived the coronavirus. Because if there's 300 million people in America and 500,000 people died, that's less than 1%. That means 99% of society did not die. That means that while tragic when anyone dies, you have to put in perspective what you're doing with your life. Okay? So we could debate trying to change the unchangeable, trying to change a mind that can't be changed, even with love and support. I believe we should still love and support. But there's a certain part of life that is unexplainable or is individual, meaning that only that person can control it. And that's the part of life that's a little bit of a mystery. All we can do is make sure that society is overall fair, and sometimes it isn't fair, and I've been on both ends of that too, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. And if any fair person can probably say the same thing, okay? Because again, I've known people that have gotten certain opportunities, but then they just don't do anything with them. So, and certain times, yeah, they got the raw end of the deal, but certain times they got the good end of the deal. It's like sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't get lucky. Now, do some people have worse luck than others? Of course. Are there underlying issues, always in life and in society that need to be addressed? Of course. But overall, dissect your life and see what the issue is. Because if you're an adult with no disabilities, part of your life journey is to figure out, well, what's going on in my life? What's causing it to suck? That's part of being independent and free, If you can't do that, you're pretty much saying, I need someone else to come figure out my life. I need my mom. I need a social worker. And look, if you need a support system, you have to get in a church. You have to get in a support group. There's no shame in that. But then at a certain point, you have to say, I got to get the fuck out of here. Now I got it. Okay. So, it's that balance of yourself that you're trying to work out. Okay. Good job. All right. I'm behind on the comments. I'm going back to them. Appreciate your patience, guys. I'm very grateful. Hal, great to see you in here, man. I'm getting to the comments. Sorry, I'm late. Pluto. Oh, yeah, Pluto's talking about he ain't making enough. Yeah, Pluto spent too much on rental cars. I love you, Pluto. Twister. Rent is freaking insane in LA. So are the salaries. The average salary in LA is 120,000. So rent is proportional to that. He goes, rent is insane in LA, though. And Pluto's living in his car. He spends $1,600 just for rent a car. I love you, Pluto. I'm sorry I'm beating you up on it. And the commute is bullshit. I currently live in my car. Well, you ain't paying rent then. Rent cheap as fuck. And just to stay in the area, I'm heavily considering just buying a massive Ford Transit and calling that my rent. Well, one is, I don't think you've been living in your vehicle long enough to make that type of investment. Because if you're basically saying, I don't know what the average Ford Transit's probably around 30 to 35,000 for a basic one. That's the down payment on a house. That's like 3 years worth of rent. If the average rent, let's say you're going to spend $35,000 on a Ford Transit. If the average rent is $1,200 a month, then that means that you could have spent 2.5 years paying for rent. And that's what I always tell you guys, don't go buying a new car just to live in a car, unless, look, like I say, Pluto now, he's been on the road for 6 months. If he's saying, I'm going to do this for another 3 years, yeah, you could buy a car, but you can live in a Chevy Spark. Guys, I live in a Jeep Renegade. It's one of the smallest cars in the market. Now, if you're saying you want to make a big investment for a van or whatever, one is you're eliminating revenue sources. Because now you can't DoorDash, you can't Instacart. So if you're going to work at Dunkin' Donuts and you can't DoorDash, now you've just increased your expenses and you've diminished your revenue return or potential revenue return. So that's a poor decision. That goes into an algorithm of occurring an expense for a depreciating asset that not only is not going to be able to produce an income, because if you had a hybrid or electric car, at least you could DoorDash or Uber with that. I would more recommend a hybrid minivan. Okay, so, but like I say, I mean, then I think about people I know that live in their vehicle and they DoorDash, but they don't accept every delivery. They sit in front of their storage unit and they only accept deliveries that are $10 or more, and they're broke as fuck. There's a different mindset there. You know, it's like, you know, they're the mindset of, I'm not going to work until minimum wage is $20 an hour. And then when minimum wage $20 an hour, you're going to need $30 an hour. You know, it's like, it's the mindset of, I've seen it because I've lived it, is that someone gets a DoorDash delivery, they say, $4, $5, I don't accept anything less than $8. And that's okay for once in a while. But if that's your mindset, you're in the algorithm of poverty. Because it's like, you know, every part of life is not cherry picking. Sometimes in life, you got to pick up dookie. Okay. Have you ever taken your hand and put it in a toilet bowl and touched fresh shit? So, you know, what I want to tell you tonight is if you're not unwilling to get your hands dirty, it's never going to be enough. Because life is a little bit dirty. Life's a cracked, you know, cell phone screen. You know, so if you're waiting for, that's like saying, yeah, I got a cracked cell phone, it still works, but I'm going to wait for a new one till I do anything. It's like, you know, that's not how life is, you know. It's like, you make the most of what you got, you keep doing it until you do better, you know. So, you know, don't protest against yourself, you know. You know, don't go on strike against yourself. I worked for a union, I remember they would go on strike, and part of it I didn't agree with. Like, part of it was insanity. I understood some principles of it, but part of it was insanity. So, what I've learned in life, and that's why I eventually left it. I'm thankful for it. I don't speak bad about it because I think it was a blessing to work for it. But there comes a time where you move on, you know. And I did it respectfully. I did it in order. But let's continue. Back live comments. Pluto. The name of the game is leveling up and refining. Yeah, no doubt. Well, the name of the game is mitigating risk and refining. Because leveling up means you're about to take on more expense or more risk, which is fine, but I want you to learn to mitigate your risk so you're stable enough to level up. Because when you're stable enough to level up, if you fail, then the refining will still be done, but it won't be done in destitution. See, when you level up, that was a song by Sierra. You know how Sierra leveled up? She had a kid with Future. Then she had a kid with the the quarterback from the Seahawks. Now, she was already a superstar, so she was good either way. Okay. Ciara's been rich most of her adult life. So has Future. So has the guy she's dating now, the quarterback from the Seahawks. So what I would tell you is mitigate your risk to create stability. Then you level up, so if you fail, you still have stability so that you can get back up again. And that's how you get into an algorithm of healthy survival. Fred, baby boy is a classic. Yeah, shout out to Therese. He's been rich longer than he's been alive. God bless him. Hal, what's good, sir? Even though, remember when Tyrese was broken? Because of a child issue. And someone gave him money. I remember him going on YouTube crying about his ex-wife and child support. I forgot. Someone gave him a few bands. I don't know who it was. But, it's like, look, I don't know, man. Everyone's different, man. Everyone's different. Hal, what's good, Sam? What's good, man? Hello, everyone. Hal, it's great to have you, man. I appreciate you being tough and staying with me. I love you, Hal. I respect you. And I'm grateful for you, brother. You know that. Twister, I hate when people have to say those unnecessary, spiteful bullshit comments. My coworker did it to me the other day. Like, what makes you think you need to say things? Well, yeah, when your coworker does it, unless there's something that is ethically wrong, then don't say anything. And even if something is ethically wrong, report to HR. However, look, I have met people that they report everything to HR and they're the problem, not the other person. So there's always two sides to a story. That's why I don't play Judge Judy. This one mentally ill girl, she got mad at me because I wouldn't play Judge Judy. She got in an argument with someone else online, had nothing to do with me. Then I wouldn't take sides. Then she took it as I wasn't being her friend. And then she started slandering me. Okay. She was a mentally ill bully. Okay. And I could tell you in life, and you guys saw early on my channel, guys, I would never speak hard to anyone. But these fucking bastards keep busting my chops. And I only take so much. And then I say, all right, that's enough. Okay. So, it's like, what are you going to do? But, like in your professional life, you got to, deal things a little bit different. This is a creative venture. Thonfo. Oh, yeah, we talked about that. We need to know how old that person would be and if they're still working. Because guys, how much money did Mike Tyson run through? Okay. Mike Tyson ran through hundreds of millions of dollars. Okay. So you can run through, how much did Dave Ramsey run through? Hundreds of millions of dollars. How much did Trump run through? Hundreds of millions of dollars. You can name a lot of people that have ran through a lot of money. So having money and getting money is one part of the equation. Being able to sustain it and keep it and mitigate risk is another. Okay. Because like we got that one guy here, Challenger the Welder, Filipino guy who basically says he's a millionaire trading stocks. I love this guy, good guy. But I don't know what the hell's going on. I keep telling him, mitigate your risk. Because there's no way every stock he's picking, he's making $1 million on. It's almost impossible. Okay. Because even in the movie Limitless with Bradley Cooper, the game was rigged. He was taking some pill. And that was a movie. So you got to be very careful. Nublia, I put effort, but I compare myself to people who are perfect. I feel like that sickness is in my head. When I compare someone's happiness over mine, it's a mind fuck. Well, you see a smart guy though. As long as you know your mind fucking life, then you'll figure it out. It'll take some time. You'll figure it out. ESP, I love you. Hardworking. She's a successful woman. I read somewhere that to raise a kid with no frills from age 18 costs $250,000. Yeah, you read on Google. Because if you Google how much does it cost to raise a child in America, it's $250,000 for 18 years. So you read correctly. Good job. So if you have 2 kids, you basically took a loan for $500,000. And it's a fixed rate for 18 years. That's true. ESP, and that's why most people are broke. It's not because of their salary. You say $65,000, yeah, that's a lot. Well, yeah, it is. If you're single with no kids, or 1 kid, maybe. But if you got 2 kids, guys, that's close to damn near poverty. Okay, so you got to be very careful. That's the biggest downfall with Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey could talk about all these fucking baby steps and they help me. But until he starts telling people kids are the main reason most people are broke, you're never going to get out of, most people ain't never going to get out of a mess. Again, now, if you already got kids, make the most of it. But again, then get a vasectomy today. Okay. Tie your tubes today. Don't get any more pets today. Don't go backwards, but what are you doing today? Okay, that's what we're talking about. So good job. ESP ain't got no kids. She rich as fuck. ESP, most people need about 2 to 3 million in their retirement accounts to live worry-free after 65. ESP, you figured it out. That's the algorithm of retirement. ESP, I won't say my payment schedule, but she don't say nothing. She goes face killer. But it is different than yours. All right there, ESP. I don't want people coming out of the woodwork asking to borrow money on my payday. I respect your privacy. I know you're very private. I'm not mad at you. I love you. ESP's funny, man. We love ESP, though. She's a good person. We're going to take a hydration break, guys. Damn, I sweat my ass off. Yeah, I saw an apartment today for about $100,000. What did I think about it? I thought it was nice. It wasn't on the ocean. I don't know if I want to do apartment living, but it's like, 400 square foot. That'd be good for one person. And, whether you got a mortgage on it or if you rented, if you've got a mortgage, it'd be less than $1,000 a month, but you need a down payment. If you rented, probably around $1,000 a month. So, it's not bad. All right, back live comments. Dan Diamond. Hey, dude. What's up, brother? Thank you again for your gracious tip. How are you, my man? Good to see you. Yeah, the past 2 days, I've been in a better zone. So a few days before that, I was in a negative zone. So what did I do? Just kept showing up, do what I do. Because all you can do on your bad days is keep fighting through them. As best you can in your individual circumstance. So, yeah, right now, I think I'm in a good zone. So make the most of my time. I hope you're doing well, man. How's everything on your end? Adam. My kids don't live with me. Okay. 19 lives with his mom. Oh, you got 2 kids. One 16, one. You're a young guy. You had kids early. Well, they're good. They're both basically raised then. Thumbs up to you. The one at age 19 lives with his mom. Okay, shout to her. 16 lives with his mom. Okay, shout to her. Also, yeah, your kids are, again, not that they don't still need support at 16 and 19, because they do. But, they're pretty much close to being young adults. So, congratulations to getting to that point. So, you don't need as much as we were talking at this point, because, you still need to support them. But, at this point, you're pretty good. Kathy. Hey, Kathy. Shout out to Chicago. Hey, Sam. I think single with no kids, 65,000 years enough. I agree. Yeah, if you ain't got no kids and you don't have too much debt or you got no debt, you're good. Now, again, in your 20s and 30s, if you're like me, you racked up debt, okay? And $65,000 with a lot of debt is no good, okay? But if you did like me and you sacrificed and you kept going and you paid off, then, you can get ahead over time, but... you got to think about that, but there's no doubt about it. If you mitigate your risk, and I want to say that again, because I know we have people, including me, that you want to take some long shots, you want to beat the odds. That's okay. But that has to be a small percentage of your income and your net worth. Why? Because if it fails, you have to still be saving. You have to still be earning a separate income so that you're still going forward. And that takes off pressure, and that makes you enjoy life more. And that makes you be able to fight through the bad days. Like I had to fight through a couple of bad days. But you know what? It wasn't that bad because I have things kind of in a proportionary order. Okay. And I've learned that through the misery of life, through failure. Good job. Doran, at my house, your video keeps freezing up. Does it? Damn it, that's not good. Sorry, Doran. Someone let me know if my video's freezing up on your end as well. Adam. Hey, Hal. Death Nublia. I am going to say it. I am going to be a billionaire. Uh-oh. I am going to put effort and use the weird machine known as the brain. Nublia, I might be crazy, but I want to try. Well, I'm not going to call you crazy, and I'm glad that you're trying. Now, I will be honest, though. Most people are never going to be a billionaire. Okay. Now, if you do become one, great. But like I say, all that is just a matter of numbers, right? Because I would say if you even got to being a millionaire, for the most part, unless you're doing some reckless stuff, you're not going to ever need money, okay? If you become a multi-millionaire, you're never going to need money, okay? If you become a billionaire, you're never going to need money, Okay. So really the point of life where you never need money again is a few million. Okay. And could the average person get there? Yeah, look, yeah, they could. That's still very hard. Okay. Uh, Tonight, we're not talking about being a millionaire. We're talking about you could pretty much, if you were single with no kids and very little to no debt, you could pretty much do whatever you want without excessive luxury with $65,000 a year. You could pretty much live just about anywhere. You could, now you're not going to live on the ocean, okay? In the greatest real estate places in the country. Not, come on. But you can probably live inland within a half hour of the ocean. Okay. So, if you got a little bit further than that, you could probably even do a little bit more. So, start at the average or the median salary as far as how that looks for your life, and then refine it from there. And again, this is only one section of life. There's health, there's relationships, there's the meaning and purpose of life. All those things are part of your journey. Tonight, we're just talking about one of them, which is the money bag. How? What's good, Adam? Keep grinding. Appreciate both of you being positive. Twisted. Yeah, I didn't know all that security stuff, laughing. I've been in school all my life. I guess I didn't think of that. That's all right. That's how you find out. Do shit. I just thought it would be nice to see them in person. No one wants to see in person. No one wants to answer your call. People want to text and people want a Zoom conference. No one, including your girlfriend or even your parents. Not too many people want to see in person. Most people want to text you. And they want to WhatsApp conference you, they want to FaceTime you. And then, in the few exceptions, people want to meet you face to face. Okay. But we're in a virtual world, guys, where most of work, even after the coronavirus is gone, God willing, you have to learn to communicate and interact virtually with very few physical meetups for most people. Good job. I guess I just thought it would be nice to see them. Nope. Thousands apply online. Yep, and 0 people see them in person. yeah. So you got better stop applying online. Thank you. Twisted. Thank you. No, thank you. Twisted. Freak. Fake friends. Not worth it. Blink of an eye. Yeah, guys, keep your circle small. I agree with that. David, what's up, brother? David Lopez in the house. Good to have you back, man. There is no way for you to be perfect, but you are definitely on point for sure. Well, David, love to you, brother. I appreciate you having a fighter spirit, a good spirit, and I thank you for everything. Shout out to you, brother. Adam, catch you later, Sam. 106 temperature. Oh, yeah, that's right. You got the coronavirus. Sleep it off. Drink liquids. I always say NyQuil, but, I don't know if that's recommended for the coronavirus. But you drink liquids, get some sleep, brother, and we're praying for you. Remember, the average human temperature is 98 degrees. Why do I say that? Because there's a lot of psychopaths that tell you to take a cold shower. Okay, if your natural body temperature is 98 degrees, I don't think you should be taking a cold shower. Why? You put yourself in thermal shutdown. So, what I want to tell you tonight, okay, is I like it warm and juicy. Good job. Good night, Adam. Twist him. Thank you for the advice, Adam. I just read it right now. Dan Diamond. Hey, dude. My roommate is asking, how long do you plan on living in a car? And do you have a plan that's for Tim? Yeah, well, shout out to Tim in all caps. Yeah, Tim, man, I don't know how long you going to live with Dan Diamond? And what's your plan to actually live on your own one day? For me, I don't know. I'm taking it day by day right now. I'm still looking at home bases. So I have mixed feelings. I'm at a place now financially where I'd be willing to settle. However, I'm also in a place mentally where, as a single person with no kids, I say to myself, do I want to settle down? And I have mixed emotions. In one aspect, it'd be healthy at this point to just have a controlled environment. In the other standpoint, I am creating a conformed life with entanglements, relationships with neighbors, and a commitment that I don't really like. So I'm conflicted. However, I'm positioned well overall, and I would say the possibility of getting a home base would be closer than when I started, but it's still at a 50-50 percentage. Why? Because I go in back of my mind, and I don't think I'll be living in this car forever. I mean, For me, it's either going to be a different vehicle with an RV. I don't think I'll rent. That's a possibility, but I think I'd buy. Uh, but all those things are it, you know. So for me, how long do I plan on it? Right now, it's day by day. Most of my objectives have been met. So if I found the right deal and if I got over the mental barrier of being able to commit, it could be very soon. However, I'm still only 40 years old. As long as I can maintain my health, I've been doing it for 4 years. So why couldn't I do it till I'm in my 60s or 70s? So, you know, those are the things I think about. So, like I say, and again, you know, thank you for the question. Doran, thank you again for the super chat. Kathy, stay away from mentally ill, toxic people. Yeah, they're bullies. Kathy, you know what it is. You know, like I say, I used to think, and this is when one of that mentally ill troll girls, she really got upset with me. Because I said, I used to think that all mentally ill people were nice. You know, it's like, you know, oh my God, like, you know, so bad. Like maybe, like one time, maybe you thought all girls were nice. Maybe you thought all guys were nice. Maybe you thought all pastors were nice. But then I realized I saw, because I was around some that had mental problems, and I was loving, I got no problem with them. I loved them. I got love for everyone. But then they started being nasty. And like really like nasty and hurtful and destructive. And then I said to myself, well, I don't judge them. I mean, I know as far as they got a problem, but that, like I always give the example, a visual. If someone has a physical handicap and they are riding in their wheelchair and they take a baseball bat and they hit you in the back of the knees, just because they're in a wheelchair, that is still physical assault. So if someone has a mental disability, they may not be in a wheelchair, but they still got a disability, and they go and they shoot up a massage parlor, that is still murder. Okay. So if someone's online and they get upset with something you said, okay, and they start to bully you with their fake profiles or with their flagging or whatever, that is still cyberbullying. So what I want to tell you tonight, I just cut through a lot of bullshit, okay? And the people who are about bullshit don't like that, okay? Dan. Thank you again, Dan. Thank you, Doran. Thank you, Thanfo. I read all those already, but thank you. Dan, thanks for that, dude. You're awesome. Well, you're awesome too, man. Shout out to you. Like I say, I understand. I empathize where you're at. Like I say, you're at a season of your life. Just reinvent yourself. You can do it. You can find joy doing something else. But you got to get rid of your old clothes. You got to get rid of your old hairstyle. You got to get rid of that old video. There's a scripture that says you can't put old wine in new wineskins. Meaning that if you need to reinvent yourself, you can't live your own life. I remember I caught myself almost in my 30s wearing long white tees, wearing jewelry when that was getting out of style. So I had to change, reinvent myself, okay? So, like, you know, I know you got that video, you got a style that was in 10 years ago. That's as style. Now, you're going to be a 50-year-old man, okay? And, you know, what's in style? Well, look at a 55 and older condo and tell Tim, go get your own fucking place. I'm going to get my own fucking place, okay? And, you know, we'll figure that shit out. Never forget it. Twister. You're absolutely right about hitting the brakes. I just really see myself living nomad. Well, how long have you been living as a nomad if you really see that? I'm curious because I've been doing it for 4 years, so I'm curious how long you've been doing it. Twister. Nomadically for the rest of my life. How long have you been doing it, Twister? I'm curious about that one. I can't wait to read this answer. Yeah, I want to know. I want to know because I know, guys, all the people I met online, I don't know anyone that has kept doing full-time nomad life the 4 years I've been on it. If there is one or two people, maybe. Most people, guys, they got off the road for one reason or another. It's true. Twister. So I want the big van. Well, how long have you been doing it before you get the big van? Okay, that's what I want to know. To be my end game. All right, well, let's what part of the inning are you in? But yes, stability first. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, a good career job first, then the van. Andre. What's up, brother? Thank you again for everything, Andre. I'm used to get my hands very dirty. You work with your hands. You work construction for a union in New Jersey. I respect that. The sewer pipe. Shout out to Ed Norton. I better not even guys, plumbers make a lot of money, guys. Shout out to you, Andre. Plumbers make a lot of money, guys. Sometimes they make more than the doctor. Sometimes. So, not really, but they make a lot of money. And so, a tradesman, electrician, plumber, sheetrock, welder, those are all great careers. And you can leverage that skill set to work a main job and to do side hustles and to start your own business. Good job. Dan, yes, it's freezing up here. Well, tomorrow is April 1st as I make this, so you're getting there. When does it get warm up north? In May. Okay, April is April Fool's. May is warm. Now, if you live in Alaska with ESP, you making good money, you got no kids, but I think they got 1 month of summer. I think it's like in August. It's a disaster. ESP, you let me know if I'm true. Andre, video frozen. Everyone, I'm sorry about that, guys. Doran, soon, are you still going to do YouTube? Yeah, well, I'm still going to do YouTube as long as it makes sense. Right now, it still makes sense. So, the only time I would shut down YouTube if it doesn't make sense. Financially, emotionally, and in every way that I can evaluate it. So right now, it still makes sense. It still is healthy emotionally, financially. And if it didn't become that, then I would change it. But I don't foresee me changing things anytime future. I just see me continuing to grow it. So, like, I've been doing it for 4 years. So, like, I asked Twista, he said, I plan on living in my van forever. I said, well, how long have you been doing it? You've been doing it for fucking 2 weeks. Twista, I love you. You're killing me. So, I've been doing YouTube for 4 years, living in my car for 4 years. So, I plan on probably doing YouTube longer than I plan on living in my car, to answer Tim's question. However, do I plan on doing YouTube the rest of my life? I don't think YouTube will be around if I'm still alive when I'm 80. I think, most of the people in the live chat, you guys will be dead. Okay, I'll be older, and there'll be something new. So, in the immediate future, I'll still be doing YouTube. Good question, Norm. Twista, unbelievable. He's been living in his car for 2 weeks. He wants to do it forever. I'm getting burnt out because I'm in a sedan now, man. You're not ready, man. Twista, man, you're killing me tonight. But I feel like the big van, this guy's killing me. I feel like the big van would be nice. Yeah, guys, Beyonce would be nice, and, $1 billion would be nice, too. He goes, the parking spots don't bother me. Yeah, no, nothing bothers you after 2 weeks. You should be fucking jumping around. I enjoy being able to move around. Yeah, let me know in 2 years, man. He goes, and live wherever I need to be. Yeah, I hear you, man. 2 weeks. You're on vacation. I absolutely hate commuting. I hear that. Plus, I love how this whole journey has been living rather than just sleeping all day in my bed. I'd be like 40. Now, I feel you. I understand your passion. I do. I respect it. My man Juicy Jeff, he said the same thing. Like, he was a weed head doing no fab, okay? Living in a shared room with roommates, and he was burnt out, and then he decided to live in his car, and it made him get going. But then he fell in love with some gay guy. He went to Los Angeles, San Francisco. They made love under a waterfall. Now, he did make it down to San Diego. He worked at Jersey Mike's for a while. He did some great videos from there. Then he came back to Idaho with his family. Then he stopped doing YouTube. I think he reached out to me today. Shout out to you, Juicy Jeff. He said he's still living in his car, but he said now he's doing car detailing. So I don't know what's going on for real. But here's a guy, Juicy Jeff. He has over 2,000 subscribers. And this guy's a smart guy, got a good personality. So I would tell him he'd be better off buying a van before you, because at least he's had a longer period of time living in his car. I'm a little concerned, man, but I still believe in you, Twista. But I'm a little concerned of the order of things you're doing. It's not out of disrespect I have that concern. It's not out of making fun of you. It's out of seriousness. If you're really serious about changing your life, then right now, you don't need to add hustles. You need to increase your income and sustain it for a period of time, and then add comfort and whatever you want to do. But don't start investing in a mobile lifestyle that you've been only doing 2 weeks, and you're working at Dunkin' Donuts. And you told me today you want to apply for a technology job. So what'd you do to apply for a technology job? You printed out a hard copy piece of paper and you walked up to a digital office building. I'm very concerned on your approach to life. Okay. So that is not meant to mock you. That's meant to make you aware of you're doing things in a delusionary fashion. You'd be on the borderline of mentally delusional. And I understand it. I'm not going to say none of us have ever been there. But now I question you may have a disability. Okay. So, because like I say, guys, how someone rationalizes their life is a glimpse into their mental status. Now, again, have I ever been broken mentally? Yes. Have I ever done stupid things? Yes. Have I ever been delusional? You could say that. So I am not going to be a hypocrite. However, I am not going to recommend you buy a new van. You've been living in your car 2 weeks. You've been working at Dunkin' Donuts maybe for 3. You tried to apply for an engineering job in a technology company through archaic ways, and there's a total disorganization to your goal setting. And so I want you to see the process that I talked out. This is not to embarrass you. This is to show you you have to be able to see what is your problems and how are you working them out. Right now, you're just going off pure emotion. I love living in my car. I need comfort. I want another job. Go for it. There's no thought and discipline of breaking down the steps to get where you want to get. It's just like bing, 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 bing. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's like, whoa, 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 whoa. You know what I mean? So it's like, calm down, ma, easy, easy, like Cameron said, okay? So you got to calm down. And you got to take it one step at a time. You got to stay consistent for a while before you add something. Good job. ESP. Sometimes it gets warm in Anchorage. Oh my God. Around July. What a disaster. I don't know how you do it, ESP. Usually we don't get higher than 70. That's crazy. ESP, does anyone have air conditioners in Alaska? Probably not. Why do you need an air conditioner? I'm curious. ESP, does anyone have central air in Alaska? Yes, if summers are only 70 to 65, you don't need air conditioning. I need air conditioning right now. It's fucking like 85. I'm sweating my ass off. Twisted. I appreciate the advice. You are right about me slowing down. Good. I'm just really, really desperate. And you can tell, guys, when you're desperate, the chick gonna leave you. And the money's gonna leave you. And have I ever been desperate? Yeah. I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. And what happened to me? I got screwed. Why? Because I was doing things emotionally. So I'm being honest with you. He goes, I'm just really, really desperate. You're in my life, and I'm just trying to knock this out. Well, yeah, well, you knock things out through consistency and slowing down and mitigating risk and building your income. Good job. But yes, I don't think I have a solid plan. Yep. And that's why I do give credit to Dave Ramsey. He gave a level of a plan financially, and I always knew in my mind, when in doubt, work and keep working and keep your bills. You know, well, I learned the second part later in life, but you got to mitigate your expenses. Twister. I don't know where to start. Well, yeah, I would say watch Dave Ramsey. That'll get you going. Because even though he's got some controversy right now, and I don't agree with him 100%, he's still got great insight on basic building of financial understanding. So I do recommend go to the YouTube channel of Dave Ramsey and subscribe and watch some of his videos. Twister. We just read that. Thank you. ESP at Twister. If after a few months you decide to get a larger vehicle, look at a small compact cargo van. Oh, here we go. ESP. ESP's an MV200. Easy to maneuver in a city environment. Oh, I would agree. Look, if you're going to get a van, the NV200 or the Ford Transit Connect, they still keep fuel efficiency above 20 miles per gallon. You can still DoorDash or Uber in them, but you can't stand up in them. So if you're looking to stand up in a van, then you're not going to get that. But if you're just looking for a little bit more comfort and keeping a level of mobility, then I agree with ESP. The NV200 or the Ford Transit Connect is a nice choice, but I would never recommend a new vehicle to live out of for someone who's only been living in their car for 2 weeks. I would say after a year, not even a couple months, I would say after 18 months, a year and a half, if you've been living full-time in your vehicle for a year and a half with no Airbnbs, with no motels, then it may make worth it. You say, well, what, like ESP's an Airbnb right now. So what's wrong with getting an Airbnb? There's nothing wrong with it. But ESP also got a good job that she's been working for several years, okay, and she can afford to upgrade to an NV200. So what she did, she earned it. So when you've been doing it for a couple years and you got the income, then yeah, in a couple months you can change your mind. But that's the difference where ESP is in a different situation, right? So you always have to remember everyone has a situation that is unique to them, including me. And so, yeah, be mindful. Doran, start walking every day. Well, I agree with this. Yeah, hang in there. Yeah, I told good advice, Doran. Yeah, I believe that walking is the key to well-being, physically, mentally, emotionally. Good job, Doran. ESP, the newer construction has air conditioning. Oh, does it? That's interesting. But buildings less than 10 years old, not usually. That makes sense. Everyone has heat. That definitely makes sense. Yeah, ESP, when I was over the summer, when I was at my mom's, I'd watch some of like there was a TV series, like, I don't know, it was like Living in Alaska, but it was like living in these like outhouses and stuff like that. It was interesting, but it wasn't inspiring to me, but it was interesting to watch. Twister, I don't know what it was called, like Living in Alaska or something. I don't know. Twister, thank you, Sam, thank you. And ESP, thank you. Much appreciated, much love to you. Twister, I'll put in time. There you go. Consistency is the mark of a championship. Inconsistency is the mark of a mental addiction, a physical addiction, or a major problem. When someone is inconsistent, it's a sign of a couple things. There's an addiction going on, there's a poor mental health going on, or there is an extreme life circumstance going on. When someone is inconsistent, there's something wrong. And, that's why the number one thing you need to build is consistency. In your food habits, in your workout habits, in your work habits, in your life habits. Because that is what builds your life over time. It's boring. Believe me, guys. I understand that everyone wants to do everything now. I'm the same way. I've been the same way. And I've gotten in trouble like that sometimes. So, we got to remember the things that we don't want to do or sometimes what we need to do. Okay, nice and easy, nice and easy. All right, guys and girls, I'm exhausted. I'm grateful. I hope I didn't blow too much hot air tonight. I try not to do that. I try to engage in a meaningful way with a structured topic. So hopefully I did that. Either way, I did the best I could. And I appreciate everyone here. I hope you got something out of tonight's video. Keep pushing forward in your life. Take care of yourself. Take a break if you need to take a break. But if you need to take a break for a long period of time, there's something seriously wrong. And maybe you need to seek serious help. There's no shame in that. So it's like, you have to look at your life, and what you need. But your life doesn't change if you don't change. And if you don't go after what you want, you never have enough. You're always going to fail. Failure is part of life. But over time, you try to fail forward, to learn from your mistakes, to mitigate your risk. And the grace of God, some luck along the way, and the habits that sustain you through the bad days so that you can get to the good days. This is the algorithm of your best life. This is the formula to a better life, but there is no exact science to life. All we're trying to do is have a greater understanding, a greater productive, positive, enhanced life. None of us have all the answers. What works for me may not work for you. And there's different seasons of life with different decisions for each season. There's enough been said tonight. All right? Love to you. Peace.